All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? And if you paid attention at all anytime um during these, today was a pretty big day for gaming announcements. But obviously the most notable thing that happened today was the Pokemon Nintendo Direct. And this Direct was kind of mocked before it happened. A lot of people were expecting this to just be 20 minutes of news about Pokemon Sword and Shield and such. And while it was a lot about that, one of the biggest surprises of this Direct, and I think the biggest surprise probably from Nintendo in general recently, considering Nintendo has been doing a lot of remakes, it could or could not come as a surprise, but Pokemon Mystery Dungeon has been one of those things that has always been a fan favorite series. It's a spin-off series that has pretty much consistently always been more interesting and more unique than the mainline series. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a story-based game. It's a dungeon crawling game. If you look at the name of the game, obviously it's Mystery Dungeon. The game features randomized dungeons that you go through. The first game was released in 1999, I believe. And the games are some of the best Pokemon games that exist. Most of them have better stories than the actual Pokemon games. The original Red Rescue Team, for example, has a very interesting combination of a story about friendship and about climate change. And Pokemon Explorers of Darkness is more or less about trust and finding your spot in it's sort of like a growing up tale. Like, Explorers of Darkness is one of my favorite games of all time. Actually, both Red Rescue Team and Explorers of Darkness actually lie in my top 10 games of all time. And Explorers of Darkness does kind of take on this sort of more mature tone, in that you're kind of left with these questions of, who do I trust? How do I find my place in the workspace? It's a very strange combination of games, all within this narrative of being part of this guild and like working, and then you start finding some weird stuff. There are going to be some people that have never played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon before, and today's news will have been just as exciting for them as it is for us who have been playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon since day one. Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team both were the first games in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series to be released, with Red Rescue Team being released on the Game Boy Advance and Blue Rescue Team was on the DS in 2006. And both of these games are remarkably different, even though they have the same story. Blue Rescue Team was the first to kind of break away and kind of make its own sort of, it's comparable to the differences between old Pokemon games. Like in Fire Red and Leaf Green, there were essentially no differences except for a few Pokemon. It's the same in Red Rescue Team versus Blue Rescue Team. In Blue Rescue Team, there are just a few different starters that you can choose from than Red Rescue Team now. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is so fascinating because you play as the Pokemon. A lot of people think that Pokemon would just be more interesting if you play as a Pokemon, and Mystery Dungeon kind of answers that question by letting you play as a Pokemon. The original games are in this gorgeous pixel art style that has kind of defined what I loved as a child, and now as an adult I still love the games. But seeing today's news, probably the best news of today, and it's just adding on to the frankly ridiculous barrage of games that's going to be coming out this year. On March 6th, 2020, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe, or Rescue Team DX, however you want to put it, is going to be released onto the Switch. And this news, I watched the trailer, and the beginning of the trailer, I'm showing the trailer on repeat in the background of this video, and it just sent chills down my spine. You know, The very first time I played Mystery Dungeon, I can still remember that's what introduced me to the world of Pokemon. And when I played it first, I didn't really know the implications of the game's story. I just knew I was very emotionally affected by the story. But now today, it's very clear what the story is, and it's one of the most fascinating things because the game is so mature for what type of content it has. On one hand, it's like a turn-based combat system, and you're running through dungeons, encountering all these familiar creatures. On the other hand, it's a story about climate change and how these two Pokemon, one of the Pokemon turned human, you play as a human turned into a Pokemon, and your goal, you're sent into the Pokemon world to stop a climate change disaster. And if that's a story that Pokemon is willing to tell again, then I'm all for it. I absolutely love Red Rescue Team. I loved it, and the fact that they're redoing it, I hope they include all the starters, because Blue Rescue Team did have some unique starters that I'd like to see. The most recent Pokemon the most recent Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game was a game that I didn't play. I think it was called Super Mystery Dungeon or something like that. And the one feature I know of that is that you could just choose your starter. I hope they still do the aura check, because the aura check was one of the most still one of the coolest features that your personality makes your Pokemon. It's been a long time since I've played a Pokemon game like Mystery Dungeon. I mean, we've just played Pokemon Sword and Shield, but Mystery Dungeon games have been kind of dormant. Okay, so I don't know how this edit is going to work. I actually looked at Red Rescue Team, and it was actually released in 2005. I always think it was released way earlier than that, but I guess not. Red Rescue Team was in 2005, and Blue Rescue Team was in 2006. I just love all these games, and the fact that it's getting remade. This video has been kind of all over the place just because I'm trying to put my thoughts together as to what this kind of means. And I just seeing the trailer again, just seeing Mystery Dungeon, and like, they have all sorts of new gameplay. Like, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon has changed a lot. I haven't played the new ones because I'm a stickler for the old art style, but this is definitely going to make me get the new one, because I don't know if they're going to be making new Mystery Dungeon games for the Switch. If this is like a telltale sign that they're going to be making new Mystery Dungeon games, then I think it's time to accept this art style. And actually, this is a very distinct art style from what I can tell from the other ones. It's almost like it's drawn on paper, and I'm all for it. I'm all for this type of thing. Nintendo's been killing it with their remakes. With Link's Awakening, that was just excellent. 2019 was not as powerful of a year as 2017 was for Nintendo, but it was still a pretty good year overall. As much as Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is, I'm less concerned about the pricing of the game, because Mystery Dungeon has always had a fair amount of gameplay. It has the base game, and then it actually has some in-game stuff, and basically the end game is you evolving and then pretty much fighting a bunch of legendaries. That it's almost like a create your own adventure. Like, after the game ends, you do get to create your own adventure, and you kind of get to run around and pretty much tackle whatever you want. And there's all sorts of legendary Pokemon that you get to fight. Like, you can just go and find, like, from my memory, you can find Kyogre, you can find Raikou, Entei, Suicune, all of those. Like, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is just such a unique franchise, and I will admit that Nintendo has been sitting on this gold mine for 5 years, and after 3 years of the Switch being out, however many years the Switch has been out, after sitting on that for 3 years, I'd say it's about time they finally, because there's like a huge fan base of Mystery Dungeon that's just been waiting for a Mystery Dungeon game on the Nintendo Switch. And the fact that it's finally happening, and I think they're doing it right by playing it safe and doing a remake of the original games. And that's going to be a good way to introduce Switch users. And I know there'll be some people who have never played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon before, and those people I am either extremely jealous of or extremely excited for, because this game is going to be huge on the Switch. Like, this is the perfect game for Nintendo Switch. A single player dungeon crawler. Like, I'm going to be playing it on docked mode, obviously, but if you're traveling, I can see this being the perfect traveling game, because it's not like 3D. It's like it's essentially like an isometric sort of view. It's like it's as if you put a top-down view and then kind of rotated it like 30 or 45 degrees, and that's kind of the viewpoint that I'm seeing. Of course, the gameplay in the trailer that is being shown is not final, but I'm just so excited. And like, I know my voice doesn't show it, but I can't blast this microphone into oblivion. I was so excited this morning when I saw that I literally just like, I screamed inside my head. I'm so excited for this. This is one of those rare moments where like, this is a game I haven't played in like, how long has it been? 2005? It's been over a decade since I've played this game. If I did play this game when it came out in 2005, which I did, I remember playing it when it was out. It's been 15 years almost, and I haven't played this game in such a long time. And like, I've lived an entire life since I played this game last time, and it's kind of crazy. Like, of course, I played Explorers of Darkness much more recently. That one's a little bit more readily available though. I'm over the moon excited to like play this game. I'm gonna play the crap out of this game, like, and it's 2 weeks before Doom Eternal, so like, I might just wait a little bit for Doom Eternal, but then by the time I'm done with this, Cyberpunk is gonna be out. Why 2019? It's 2020. Why did I say 2019? Yeah, why 2019? It's 2020, and we're getting a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon on the Switch. If there was a better way to start 2020, I'd love to know what better way it would be. Thank you all for watching. I strongly suggest that you keep your eyes on this game, because this one's going to be a huge hit on the Switch. I'm telling you right now, this thing is going to blow up. We want a new Mystery Dungeon on the Switch, and we want it now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I was kind of rambling all over the place. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.